the end of time, the most feared and at the same time the most awaited moment in the history of humanity. An event shrouded in mystery, dark revelations and terrifying omens. Are we close to the apocalypse? The signs are there, but are we prepared to face them before we plunge into the whirlwind of prophecies and visions? Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. To comprehend what is paving the way for the end times, let's delve into the most controversial and feared book of the Bible, Revelation. This prophetic book, authored by John the Evangelist, one of Jesus Christ's closest disciples, was written after the Master's departure. He was tireless in his mission to spread the message of love and faith, but not without facing the severe persecutions of the Roman Empire. Persecuted, he exiled himself to the remote and desolate island of Patmos in the middle of the Aegean Sea. It was in this place where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds seemed thinnest that John had the apocalyptic visions that would shape the fate of mankind. But what exactly did John see? And what does that mean for us today? According to the scriptures, John had terrifying visions while he was isolated on Patmos. Visions so disturbing that he recorded them in a language full of metaphors and symbolism, perhaps to protect the minds of those who were not prepared to understand the whole truth. The word apocalypse comes from the Greek and means revelation. And that's exactly what John brought into the world, a revelation of what was to come. The first of these revelations is the coming of the Antichrist, a being who, according to John, would rule the world for 1,000 years, bringing with him an age of deception and destruction. But who is this Antichrist? For some, he has already come and been personified in the Roman Emperor Nero, whose atrocities marked history with blood and suffering for others. It is yet to come, lurking in the shadows of a global power, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. But the question that remains is, what if the Antichrist was already among us, acting subtly and disguised as a wolf in lamb's clothing? Some believe that charismatic leaders and bloodthirsty dictators like Hitler could have been manifestations of this evil being. Still others point to contemporary figures who rule nations with an iron fist, promising peace but bringing only war and destruction. And it doesn't stop there. After the rise of the Antichrist, John warns us about the arrival of the Four Horsemen of the apocalypse. These knights, each with a dark mission, are the heralds of the end. The first horseman, mounted on a white horse, represents the false peace brought by the Antichrist. He will mislead all the nations, making them falsely believe that the golden age has dawned. However, in the most critical moment, the second rider on the red horse will bring war, shattering this deceptive peace. This plunges the world into an unprecedented conflict, far worse than any we've seen before, including the First and Second World Wars, civil strife, the Vietnam War, among countless others. It might just be a taste of what's to come. Then we have the rider of the black horse, who brings with him hunger and misery. The earth, desolated by wars, will see its soils become barren, unable to sustain life. Hunger, already a reality in various parts of the world, will be exacerbated to the point that bread becomes an unaffordable luxury for many. Finally, the last rider, mounted on a yellow horse, symbolizes death. He will take lives ruthlessly, using natural disasters and pandemics as his weapons. Let's think of tsunamis, earthquakes, pandemics such as the Black Death, AIDS, and even the recent coronavirus. These events would be mere harbingers of what the Death Knight will bring when it is his time to act fully. But in the face of all these signs, a question arises: are we already living in an apocalypse? What if all four horsemen were already riding among us, their actions hidden behind events that many consider natural? The Holy Scriptures tell us that after the destruction wrought by the horsemen, evil will finally be defeated and the kingdom of God will be established on earth. But until then, millions will perish and the survivors will face the final judgment, where every soul will be judged by their deeds. The saints will be elevated to paradise, while the sinners will face eternal torment. It is possible that we are very close to this fateful moment. Martin Luther, the reformer, once said that prophecies can only be perfectly understood after they are fulfilled. Perhaps we are living the fulfillment of these prophecies, but blinded by the everyday. We still don't realize the gravity of the situation. Now, imagine if the last judgment took place today, at this very moment. Would you be prepared to be judged? Would he be safe? It is a frightening but necessary reflection. For today, we're done here, but our journey of revelation is far from over. In the next video, we'll explore one of the most feared and controversial books in history, the Cursed Book of Saint Cyprian, a grimoire filled with dark secrets and dangerous rituals. What does it contain, and why was it deemed so dangerous that it should be destroyed? Don't miss the next investigation, where we'll unravel the mysteries of this cursed book. Until then, leave your thoughts in the comments and prepare. C. The end might be nearer than you actually perceive.